Hi, I'm Candace Devin, and welcome to The Community, your breath of fresh air and positive local programming. Today we're on location at Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo, the place where people connect with animals. So we invite you to join us and the crew as we walk the trails at the Baton Rouge Zoo to visit Asia, Africa, and the Americas and see all the animals represented here. Let's go. All right, we're here with Mary at the Baton Rouge Zoo. So tell us a little bit about the history of the zoo, maybe some interesting facts.
Sure. Well, our zoo actually has an incredibly rich history. We opened Easter Sunday, 1970, but there was quite a bit of work that went on before the zoo opened to the public, and namely that was Buckskin Bill Black, and he had a children's show on WAFB. And he would actually end every single show by saying, "Remember, boys and girls, Baton Rouge needs a zoo." And so they had an incredible penny drive, and it was actually the children of this community that helped us raise enough pennies to buy not one but two elephants. And so the very first two elephants at our zoo, we named them affectionately Penny 1 and Penny 2, were that came about because of Buckskin Bill and our community. It was just an incredible collaboration. So it's kind of neat to have that history and have that relationship with your community and your zoo. Since then, it's been an incredible growth for the Baton Rouge Zoo. We have about 250,000 visitors every year that come through our gates, and we have about 1,500 different animals on exhibit here at the zoo, a variety, hundreds of different species, and we're really proud of the way that the renovations have gone. And if you haven't been to the zoo in a few years, you really need to check it out.
You hear that? Mary says, come on down. You see what a few pennies can do and what the community can do when we come together. So come on out and support your zoo. And then they also, for snacks, give them animals and bits.
You looking at him?
Well, good morning, folks. My name is Jennifer, and this cute little guy, oh, and now he's going to throw a temper tantrum. Oh, goodness gracious. This is Hachi, and Hachi is, well, I'll let you guess. Is he an alligator or a crocodile? Alligator. You're absolutely right. The easiest way to tell is by looking at the shape of the snout. If it's a round snout, that's a gator. If it's a pointed snout, that's a crocodile. If you're close enough to look at the shape of its snout, it really doesn't matter if it's an alligator or a crocodile. No, actually, alligators have a really tough reputation. It's really not deserved. They're actually quite shy animals. As long as we leave them alone, they'll leave us alone. The problem comes when people try to do silly things like feeding wild alligators. And what they're doing is training the alligator that people are food, that we may have food or we may be food. As long as we don't try to feed wild alligators, they stay away from people. Now I'm going to bring him around for you guys to touch, but there's a couple of things you need to know. First of all, we always touch with just 2 fingers at a time. So can you guys hold up 2 fingers for me? Just like that. There you go. We never, ever, ever touch an animal near its face. That's scary to a little guy like Hachi, something big and scary coming at his face. So what I want you to do is I want you to touch him between my 2 hands, okay? So somewhere on his back or on his sides. He doesn't like his tail touched either, and when he doesn't like his tail touched, he actually swats with it, and I don't feel like getting swatted by his little tail. So I'm gonna bring him down and let you guys get a closer look at him. Were once an endangered species. They are no longer. They've been taken off the endangered species list, and that's partly because we've protected their habitat, the wetlands where they live, but also because they farm alligators the same way they farm raise cattle and pigs and chickens. They raise alligators on farms for meat and skins, and that way fewer of them in the wild are getting killed. So it's now estimated that there are about 2 million alligators in the wild now, but mostly between Florida and Louisiana. There's some other states that have small populations of gators, but we have the biggest one right here. How big will he be? That's an excellent question. Well, he is a boy. And males tend to get between 12 to 15 feet, but they can grow as big as 18 feet. Now he is just 1 year old. He just turned 1 2 weeks ago. When he hatched, he was about 7 inches long. So he's already almost doubled in size. He's about a foot long now. And that'll continue for the first 2 to 3 years. He'll keep growing at a fairly fast rate. When he gets to about 4 feet long, his growth is going to slow down quite a bit, but he will never stop growing his entire life. So when you see the big alligators out on zoo grounds, those guys are still growing. It's just they're so big now, it's really hard to tell that they're even growing anymore. But I will tell you this, if you want to come and see Hachi when he's full grown, mark your calendar to come back to the zoo in about 80 years. He could live to be 80 years old, possibly even 100 years old. The oldest one that we know of in captivity is in her 80s right now, one that we know her actual hatch date. So she is, the last I heard, she was about 13 feet long. Females don't get nearly as big as the males, but at over 80 years old, she was still laying eggs. So yeah, she's still being a mom.
Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for joining us. Can you tell us how long you've been with the zoo?
I've been at the zoo almost 3 years.
Wow, 3 years. That's a long time. I bet you know a lot about the animals.
A fair bit, yeah.
So now understand we have a program for the giraffes, an enrichment program. Tell us a little bit more about that also.
Well, we actually do enrichment with all of the animals at the zoo. Some animals, it's not as obvious what we're doing for enrichment. For instance, if the keepers put a scent out, you're not going to see a scent. But it gets the animals to exhibit natural behaviors that they would in the wild. And of course, giraffes, being tall animals, feed up in the trees. So one of the things the keepers do, rather than putting their food in a trough on the ground, it's actually up on a pole. So it's as if they are feeding off of a tree. And the keepers also do things like browse, which is tree branches that are cut down, that are edible, so that they actually have to strip the leaves off the way they would strip acacia trees out in Africa. So it's all behaviors that are natural to the animal. We just try to get them to demonstrate those while they're at the zoo.
At Lane Regional Medical Center, we're bringing the most advanced cardiac diagnosis, treatment, and care right where it's needed most. From the dynamics of our cath lab all the way through to recovery, it's all here at Lane Regional Medical Center. Exceptional cardiac care, so close to home, you won't miss a beat.
Ooh, here we are at the realm of the tiger. Tell us a little bit about the Asian experience we have here at the realm of the tiger.
Well, this is sort of a new trend in zoos to go what we call zoogeographical, which basically means grouping animals by the area that they come from. So in this case, it's Asian animals. We actually have 2 subspecies of tigers. We're one of the few zoos in the country that has 2 subspecies of tigers, both critically endangered. We also have Simang gibbons, we have a koi pond, and we have an aviary of Asian birds. So it sort of gives you an immersion feel, along with the architecture, obviously, and there's also some cultural references throughout the exhibit. So you sort of get a feel for the area as well as being able to see the animals.
Okay, thanks so much. We're going to go inside and check out the animals. Let's go. We're here deep inside the realm of the tigers. Back with Jennifer. Jennifer, tell us, does the Baton Rouge Zoo have any endangered species?
We actually have quite a few, and of course you're looking at one right here. Tigers are one of the most critically endangered species. We actually have 2 subspecies of tigers here, and with each of these subspecies there's probably fewer than 500 of them left in the wild. So these 2 represent a very important gene pool to us. But we have our rhinos, we have Asian elephants. We have some smaller animals too. For instance, one native to right here in Louisiana, the Louisiana pine snake that we have on exhibit in our aquarium. So it's not just big, what we call charismatic megavertebrates. There's lots of animals that need protection, that need captive breeding in zoos in order to build up their numbers in the wild. And it's one of the programs that we participate here. It's called an SSP, a Species Survival Plan. So it's sort of like computer dating for animals. The animals are selected to, oh, we're taking a nap. Yeah, they're kind of bored with what I'm talking about, apparently. So, sorry to bore you, boys. It's computer dating for animals. It's basically selecting the best matches for breeding of animals throughout AZA-accredited zoos throughout the country. So animals come here from other zoos. Some of our animals that are born here go to other zoos. But it's all with the idea that we can help save these animals from extinction.
Say, hey, Tucker. Can you say welcome to the community to the camera?
Hannah, say welcome to the community. Say it.
Welcome to the community.
Say welcome to the community.
Say welcome to the community. You don't have to talk into it.
Welcome to the community.
I like.
I was living on Sinbad Street here in Baker as a kid, going to 3rd and 4th grade at Park Ridge Elementary. We'd come to the zoo here on the weekends. This wasn't the zoo then.
No, we've changed quite a bit in our since 1970, and one of the things that we're proud of is we have maintained a lot of the natural beauty of the zoo. Even though we've grown and expanded and added new exhibits and renovated old ones, we have an incredibly scenic zoo of just the natural beauty that is our Louisiana habitat. And like you mentioned, one of the things is our particular animals in our collection are quite accustomed to heat. They know they feel right at home in Louisiana because they're from Africa, Australia, Asia, and it's just as steamy there as it is here.
Like we saw those tigers from Malaysia and another country there in Asia, but they were like you and I. They enjoy a good dip in the pool.
That's right. It's always nice to cool off.
You know, when I was a kid, back then, the zoo wasn't as large as it was. It was just a little small, tiny zoo. We were just getting started. Buckskin Bill was trying to get the elephants here. I think that that was a major accomplishment, both for the community and the zoo coming together. But I remember when we could put our hands in the cages and pet the monkeys.
Yeah, we zoos have kind of evolved over the years, and I remember that as a kid, you know, we used to have riding the camels and riding the elephants, and really, you know, a lot of that has changed in the zoo world. You know, we want to make their exhibits as natural looking as possible, and when you come to the zoo, you kind of feel like you're getting a glimpse of what these animals look like in the wild in their natural homes.
Raise your hand if you think this is a baby owl. Oh, I fooled a couple of you. Nope, he is not a baby owl. He is full grown. This is Marcus. Marcus is an eastern screech owl. He's a grown-up. This is as big as he's ever going to get. In fact, he's kind of an old man. He's 18 years old. Yeah, that's pretty old for a screech owl. In the wild, 10 years, that's a lucky screech owl. In zoos, they can live into their late teens, sometimes into their early 20s. We're hoping he's going to be a record breaker. The record is 27 years. We're crossing our fingers that Marcus is going to be around for longer than that. Now, eastern screech owls are actually relatively common, but it's very hard to spot them. Look at his coloration. What does that look like? Camouflage. It looks like a tree. He looks like the bark of a tree. So when he sits up and he's very still up in a tree, predators aren't going to find him. People aren't going to find him either. Now, he's called a screech owl. I will give you a clue. You'll be very unlikely to ever hear a screech owl screech. They only screech when they are very, very scared. Most of their conversation with each other is a real soft whistling sound. I wish I could imitate it for you because it's a really beautiful sound. But these birds are all around us, literally. They're in the woods around here. They might even be in your backyard. So they're excellent to have around because they control mice, and then of course they also control all those insects that you might need to worry about. Now Marcus is kind of unusual for a screech owl. He does not mind being touched. Most birds of prey don't like being petted. Marcus has gotten used to it over the years. So again, show me your 2 fingers. Okay, and we're going to use them just right down his back and very, very softly. He has very delicate feathers. So you just want to touch him very, very soft. Oh, just like that. Good job touching softly. And you see how soft his feathers are. Now, there's a reason that his feathers are that soft. Most birds, when they flap their wings, make noise. You know, if you ever hear a pigeon flying, boy, it makes a lot of noise flapping its wings. Owls have extra soft feathers so that they make no noise when they flap their wings. It's called silent flight. And it allows them to sneak up on their prey without being heard. So they can fly right up on a mouse or on a moth or on a grasshopper, whatever they can find, and that animal never hears them coming. So it's a pretty nifty trick to be able to sneak up on your food like that. You're being such a good boy, Marcus. Such a good boy. Now, 1 more row to go. What a good boy, Marcus. There you go. Now you see the way he's looking around? Normally, I would tell people that screech owls can see better than we can during the day as well as at night. Sometimes people wonder, well, doesn't it hurt his eyes to have his eyes open since he's a nocturnal animal? He flies around at night. Well, during the day, screech owls see about 8 times better than you and I do. At night, they see 100 times better than you and I do. So I'm going to give you an example of how well he sees. Imagine you're down at the Superdome. All the lights are out, every single light in the Superdome. And of course, it's closed, so there's no stars or moon or anything like that. It's pitch black. You're standing in one end zone. At the other end zone, there's a newspaper hanging on the goalpost. On the 50-yard line, there is one single candle. That's the only light around. In that light, at that distance, he could see, well, not you, Marcus, sorry, but a screech owl could see the dot on an eye on that newspaper from 100 yards away with one candlelight. Isn't that, it's just hard to really wrap your brain around that. Not only that, he has exceptional hearing. And I think Marcus, since he can't see very well, probably has even better hearing. They can hear a mouse from 75 feet away, and the mouse does not need to move or make a sound. He could hear it breathing and hear its heart beating from 75 feet away. All right, Marcus, you've been a very good boy. You get to go home and have some breakfast. Anybody want to guess what breakfast is?
Flies? Mice.
It's a mouse.
Mice.
Yeah. Yeah. We get them frozen, we thaw them out, pop them in. He loves them. Yeah, you know what his favorite part is?
The tail. The tail.
The head. Yeah, the brains. I wonder if that's where the whole zombie story comes. No, that's actually has a lot of fat and a lot of protein. So that's what they eat first.
You're gonna love Lane. 4 little words that we take very seriously. You see, it's not just a catchphrase. It's the way we view our workplace and a reflection of the excellent care you'll receive here. In fact, Lane Regional Medical Center is the first hospital in Louisiana to earn a Pathway to Excellence designation as one of the best places for nurses to work. But it just brings us right back to those 4 little words. You're gonna love Lane. Visit lanermc.org for more information.
Omni Productions brings you the community each Saturday. During football season, our broadcast changed to Saturdays here on WBTR at 6 p.m. Omni Productions is available for all sorts of events and occasions, especially weddings. Call 505-6294, 505-6294, or visit our website, omniproductionsla.com. Omni Productions, a name you know and trust.
Feet. Ready?
Can we walk like a duck? Oh, yeah, see, they heard you calling. I'm thinking they're looking good. You thinking they're ducks? Ducks, Jennifer? All right. Two wings up. That's a long time. And just so you know, we have to be very careful with this. These are actually fantastic ducks. What's going to happen is we're going to allow the duck. What we do in the afternoons is because we let the ducks go out into the yard, but in the afternoons we have to lock them up because of weather concerns and predator concerns and things that go on when we're not here. So what we did was actually we trained the ducks to come in on their own because catching 8 ducks is a lot of work, okay? So because they're a flock animal, there is a dominant duck. And what we had to do to find the dominant duck, we observed them for a while, we watched which duck went and everybody followed it. So when we trained these ducks, we concentrated on that duck. We didn't worry about the other ducks. We concentrated on that duck. Once we got that duck into a routine, which incidentally she picked on her own because we had a much shorter route and they decided they liked sightseeing, seeing the tour and everything, picked a longer route to go in at night. Now they come out a different route in the morning, but they go in. So what they're going to do is they're going to come out this barn, that chute there, they're going to run through the barn, they're going to go around the side and run into their stall. Okay? So what we are going to do is we're going to be very still until they turn into the barn. When they turn into the barn, we quack and walk like ducks. Now, we're together.
Who's going to pick a duck right here?
Confuse them.
Pick one. Which one you picking? The black duck. All right. There's 2 black ducks. Which one you going with? All right, the big black duck. Who else is picking a duck?
You were a duck. You go swimming.
What you got?
Well, you got the quacking and the waddling
Who else
down.
is
Now
picking
you
a
just
duck?
gotta worry about the feathers.
I don't think they do it like that. The gray one with his head up.
Okay. See, they're more like.
Who else is picking a duck? All right, you got a duck pick.
The one that's got his head scrunched in.
I got your duck running shoes on. Everybody's got it.
And we got the running of the ducks. Where's the duck walk and the quacks? Quack, quack.
Okay, you need to stay back. You need to stay back.
Remember, do not move until the ducks hit the barn and the keepers. If you see beige running, come with them. Don't pass them up. You ready? Release the ducks. Now this is not the
Here they come. Here they come.
Wait, be quiet until they turn in. See, this is not their normal. Here we go.
Looks like I didn't pick the winner, I don't believe. I think Joel picked the winner.
Come on, you guys.
I think it's going to be that gray duck. Stay back, boys. Get back, boys. Both of y'all back. That's it? Can we get the winner out? Can we get the winning duck?
The black one, the dark one?
No, the white one. The white one.
Right there in the middle? Okay. No, that's not the one I picked. Did anybody pick that one? Right there?
That's that one.
The picking of the winning duck right here.
How'd Quacker do?
Quacker stayed out here and got lost.
So now we just saw the running of the ducks. Tell us what that was all about.
Well, the ducks have an indoor enclosure and an outdoor enclosure, and rather than pick the ducks up and carry all 8 ducks in and out every single day, the keepers decided an easier way would be to train the ducks to go on and off exhibit by themselves. So all they had to do was have food at the end of the line, and that was the incentive for the ducks. You train the alpha duck, the lead duck, you get her to lead the way, everybody else just follows on behind. And the ducks actually got creative, and they actually took a longer route than the keepers were originally planning, but they let the ducks do it on their own. And so now the public gets to see at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they get to come and see the ducks running into the barn like you got to see.
Wow, that's awesome. I think if you get some food for me, I'll run too. Tell us about the elephant program. That's exciting. I know that's my favorite.
Well, you know, you saw trained ducks, but the elephants are trained and they actually do a really wide variety of behaviors. And part of that is just stimulation. It's enrichment. It makes them think, and it also makes them move, so it gets them to exercise. I wish somebody would do that with me. I'd be better about exercising if I got a little incentive.
Wouldn't we all?
But they're trained to do a series of behaviors that not only gets them to stretch and to exercise, but also gives the keepers a chance to check on their general health, so they can look at the bottoms of their feet. They can open their mouths and take a look at their teeth. So it's all things that help us keep the animals healthy, but it also gives them mental and physical stimulation as well.
Okay, thanks so much for that information. We've got fine dining and physical exercise at the Baton Rouge Zoo.
Hi, I'm Brandy Turner, a hairdresser and mother of 2. A couple of months ago, I blacked out at the gym and was having a heart attack. The team at Lane Regional Medical Center and Cardiovascular Institute of the South saved my life. That's why I chose Lane and CIS, because every second counts. Now I'm still around to raise my kids and do what I love.
To learn more about our full range of cardiovascular care or to schedule an appointment, call 654-1559 or log on to cardio.com.
Omni Productions brings you the community each Saturday. During football season, our broadcast changed to Saturdays here on WBTR at 6 p.m. Omni Productions is available for all sorts of events and occasions, especially weddings. Call 505-6294, 505-6294, or visit our website, omniproductionsla.com. Omni Productions, a name you know and trust.
At Lane Regional Medical Center, we're bringing the most advanced cardiac diagnosis, treatment, and care right where it's needed most. From the dynamics of our cath lab all the way through to recovery, it's all here at Lane Regional Medical Center. Exceptional cardiac care, so close to home, you won't miss a beat.
Miss Wood, we've certainly appreciated the hospitality of the Baton Rouge Zoo here on having the community here for the morning. It's been a wonderful visit. I'm looking forward to the program airing. Please invite us back for other times that we can help promote the zoo.
Absolutely. We have enjoyed having y'all so much, and we have a brand new event. Well, Boo at the Zoo is an old event, and that's where the kids come and trick-or-treat in the zoo, but there's a new event called Zoo Lights, and it's actually Christmas lights in the zoo, and that runs the entire month of December. It starts right after Thanksgiving weekend, so it's kind of a way to experience the zoo in a little cooler climate, and at nighttime where you see totally different sights and sounds within the zoo.
Well, if you'll keep us informed of the events that you have, we'll put it on the program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Woods. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.